when you see me a step, you should know I'm a queen. Queen of the jungle. Queen of the jungle. Queen.
Hey babes, it's a girl here by Rhema and welcome to another YouTube video. If you are new to my channel, a very special welcome to you. As you guys can see in the title, today I will be doing a how to fancy stitch all backs with curls. It's not an in-depth stitch braid tutorial, but just to show you all the process and give you certain tips of how I achieve these fancy stitch all backs today, right? So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and let's just get into this video. Okay, so what do we need? We need our precision part comb, our product, whether it be Shannon jam, ORS jam, whatever jam you're comfortable using. Also, you will need your braiding hair, of course, which is the most important thing. Today I used one pack of Super XTZ 48-inch braiding hair in the color 613. I'll see if I get a picture and then put right here. The precision part comb and the wristband that I'm using to put my product on, I bought it from Jay's Haircraft, and I bought the hair from Sassy Hair Lounge on Instagram, so you can check out those two pages to get your braiding supplies. Okay, so let's get into how I achieve this style. So first things first, we're doing 6 corners, so I part straight down the middle and I will do 3 on each side. So today I'm doing fancy parting, meaning it's basically free parting. Alright, you're just curving the comb and doing this really curly fancy part basically. So the first thing I do is I just go through with my comb and I kind of swirl the comb through her hair so that it comes out fancy, and then I go back over with my ORS jam and I take my precision comb and clean up that part. So the first time I don't get it perfect, I don't get it how I want it to look, but when I put the jam, then I'll be able to clean it up properly and make the part clean and beautiful how I want it to come out, right? So just take your time. It's not as hard as doing straight back corners with straight parts, because you know it's a fancy part, so you don't have to look a specific type of way as compared to straight parts. Next, I'm going to apply my ORS jam on the 2 sides of the section, and I'm just going to take my comb and mold the hair in the direction in which I want it to flow. After I do this, I take out a front section, I take out a small section to start the braid, and then I part the remainder of the section in 2 and apply ORS jam straight through. So that will kind of give me the direction in which my feeding braid will flow. And then I start braiding and I continuously add in braiding hair. Now when you're sectioning off the braiding hair, make sure that you don't put too much, because you don't want the stitch braid to come out too thick and hide the stitches. So you want to just make sure that the size of the braiding hair, the size of the strands of braiding hair, you want to make sure that they're not too thick and also not too small that the braid will come out thin. It's really based on the thickness of the client's hair itself. If a client has really thin hair, well, it's obvious you'll have to take thicker strands of braiding hair, because you know you want the braid to look like it has some body. And if your client has really thick hair, well, you wouldn't need thick strands of braiding hair. So this is not an in-depth stitch tutorial on how I do my stitch braids, but it's basically for you all to see the process. Okay, so when I'm doing the second braid, I will explain a little more and re-explain certain things and give you all more tips. So you can just look at me finish this braid, and when I come into the second braid, I will slow down the video and give you all a little more tips. Okay, so I'm going to start the second braid now. As I told you before, I just do some curvy parts with my precision comb. You know, I'm not going too in depth. And then I will go back in with my ORS jam, pass it straight throughout that part, and I'll go in and clean up the part, make sure it looks curvy and cute, right? So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just going back in and cleaning up the part. After that, I will apply my ORS product on the both sides of the section of hair. and then I'm going to take my comb and mold the hair into the direction in which I want it to flow. So y'all are gonna see me doing that now. I'm applying the jam on the two sides of the section of hair, and then I'm molding the hair with my precision part comb. Now when I'm finished doing that, I like to ask my clients if they want me to leave out the edges or if they want me to just put it into the braid. Some people like to leave out the edges, some people don't. Next, as you can see here, I parted out a mini small section. That is the section I'm going to use to start the braid, and then I parted the rest of the section in half, and I applied my product throughout that, and I went back and molded the two sides of the section into the direction I wanted to flow. And then I'm gonna start braiding, doing my stitches with my index, with a stiletto nail on my index finger, and adding in my braiding here gradually. Now because this client here was really thick, I didn't add in braiding here throughout the entire braid. You always see me stop adding in braiding here at a certain point, and then when I come back to the end of the braid, I started back adding in here just to give the end of the braid body and length. One more tip: when you're braiding down, especially when you reach like the middle of the braid, you want to continue putting the ORS jam to keep the moisture, keep the neatness. You can also comb through the hair so that you won't have any flyaways, it will remain neat and stuff like that. Make sure you grip properly and you tuck the hair nicely so that everything falls in place and looks as neat as possible. Okay, so I'm finally coming down to the end of the braid, and as I mentioned before, this is where I will start back adding in braiding here. I'm also keeping moisture on my hand and on the braid, and I'm also going to continue combing through the braid so that the braid will remain smooth and neat. I forgot to mention that I will be using clear rubber bands for when I stop braiding down, to separate where I'm going to curl, right? I'll be using clear rubber bands, reason being because this client here is blonde, and I don't like when I use black rubber bands and I see that the rubber band is stopping it. So I'm using the clear rubber band because I don't like to see the black rubber band on colored hair. I also like to ask my client to stand up so that I will see exactly where I'm putting the rubber band, that I'm putting it on the same length on all the braids. The only thing with these rubber bands though, they were really like plastic. Like some rubber bands you can feel the difference, and these rubber bands were like pure plastic, so when I put them in the hot water they burst, so I had to put back rubber bands to keep the braid from unraveling from the curls. So if y'all can find, because I bought these rubber bands in the Chinese grocery by me, so if y'all can find rubber bands, clear rubber bands that have better elasticity and it's not as plasticky, I don't even know how to describe it, that would be better to use so that when you dip it in the hot water it wouldn't burst and you wouldn't have to worry about any of that. So y'all can just look at me finish out the other 4 braids, and I'll come back when I'm doing the finishing touches, dipping the hair, curling the hair and all of that. Okay, so now it's time to do the curls. I use flexi rods to do my curls. Some people use straws, some people use the other curling rods thingies, but I use flexi rods. I bought them in Pennywise, so you can go get them at Pennywise. Yeah, so before I put the flexi rod though, I like to apply mousse on the part that I'm going to put on the rod. So yeah, that's basically it, and you just make sure you curl the hair tightly onto the flexi rod so that it wouldn't unravel. Now I suggest that when you're on your last plait, you go and you put water to hot in your kettle or wherever, so that the water will be really hot when it's time to dip the hair. Now when I dip the hair, I dip 2 by 2 by 2. I don't dip all the braids together as one. So as you can see, I'm dipping it 2 by 2, and I'm going as close up to the client's neck as I can, so that most of the braid will get the hot water and they will just fall into place. Also, you want to make sure that you give the curls a little more hot water than when you just go up on the braid and come back down. Next thing I'm going to do is her edges. Then I apply my mousse. I'm going to oil her scalp with black castor oil, and yeah, I sprayed her hair, and that was all. And I took out the flexi rods, and that was exactly everything for today's process. I hope you all enjoyed this video, enjoyed the process, enjoyed looking at me do everything. I hope you all understood how to achieve this style, and I hope you all try. If you do try this style, please DM me a picture on Instagram, tag me in your stories, something. You can leave your reviews in the comments down below as well. Also, you can leave any YouTube videos that you all want me to do, because I'm kind of running out of ideas. So yeah, this is today's finished look. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. DM me on Instagram for any inquiries on styles. And that's it for today. See you all in the next one. Bye.